Previously, we discussed how the dormant love within our heart has the ability to avoid transgression, because if this relationship is so precious to me, I'm afraid of doing anything to hurt it. If I would give my very life up for God, then of course I can avoid, minimal displeasure for the sake of keeping this connection alive. Now I want to explore how this Ahavas Mitzvah has the ability to help us in positive mitzvah observance. Your dormant love, your Ahavas Mitzvah, once awakened, will help you in the area of positive mitzvahs. Do good, aseh tov. Before we explored, Sor Meirah, stay away from evil. To be strong like a lion, with strength and determination of the heart against the impulse to evil, which causes your body to feel heavy and makes you lazy, stemming from the animal soul's element of earth. So this is at the very beginning of Tanya. We learned all these different facts, and the way Sheish Tao puts it is at the beginning of a recipe, you just learn the ingredients, and then you learn how to put them together. So originally, we learned the idea there's 4 different elements of the animal soul: fire, water, earth, and air, and how they all have a disposition towards negativity. And one of them, of earth, is of heaviness, of laziness. And so, of course, if I'm feeling heavy, I'm feeling lazy, I'm not going to have the strength like a lion to go and serve God, to go and have that energy to put my full being into performing mitzvahs. So let's explore laziness for a moment. Laziness holds you back from pushing your body enthusiastically with the different forms of exertion necessary to serve God. So we learned in chapter 15 that part of serving God, meaning in the act of service, means that I am actively engaged. So even if I'm checking all the X's, right, and I'm doing all the things theoretically I need to do to serve God, but I'm not putting in my own effort, it's not called active service. That's one who serves God not. Because for it to be considered that I'm actually serving God in the sense of a verb, that verb, that action word, is referring not to just the physical action I'm doing, but to my inner action, to that inner challenge, that I'm pushing myself to the next level, that I'm actually engaging my inner soul powers of strength to make this happen. Not just that this is routine and something I do, right? This has to be active effort. And so laziness is the antithesis to this. And so we need to be able to conquer that laziness in order to be in an active service. So through this love, right, this great love that we have for God that's being washed away, right, the spirit of delusion has been washed away, and this love is uncovered, and now we know how precious and how cherished and how, just beating that love is in our heart for God. So now we're able to be enthusiastic and have the energy, the highest we need to do the mitzvahs. So the Tanya is going to give us 3 different examples of different mitzvahs where we need this strength, this like a lion, this energy that comes from love. Being driven in Torah studies. The first category is Torah study. In depth in verbalizing the word so that your mouth doesn't stop studying. As our sage of blessed memory said, a person should always place upon themselves the yoke, the work of studying the Torah, as an ox accepts the yoke, and as a donkey its burden. Talmud Avodah Zarah. Meaning we're completely all in, dedicated to Torah study. That doesn't exactly sound like the lazy person's to-do list, that what we just read. Okay, the next category is prayer. Serving God with mindful prayer, right? Not just mumbling. I saw this video of a chipmunk talking really, really, really fast, and it was like saying Ashrei, meaning not just mumbling the words, but being mindful, using our full power and attention, right? Really putting ourselves into tefillah, into prayer. Right, just like you're having a meaningful conversation with someone. Sometimes you're so tired, but yet, and you're ready to go to sleep, but then you have an interesting conversation with someone, you stay up for 3 more hours, right? When you're engaged, when you're on, when you're putting your energy into something, you have that energy. And so putting that into prayer, getting lost in time in prayer, and just being really in that conversation with God. And your cash. When serving God in your financial matters, such as the worship through charity, you ought to stretch yourself to the utmost of your ability. Meaning, if I'm just giving the required, but it doesn't, I'm not actually pushing myself, then it's not that active growth, right? It still has an element of the lethargy of the element of earth to it. When we have that love uncovered, we want to give. It's with an excitement. It's with even though this is a little bit beyond what I had in mind to give, I want to extend myself. I want to give because why? Because I heard the one analogy about tzedakah that I love is that, let's say you're Hashem's bank. So Hashem gives you his money, and when Hashem wants to take out money, he asks for it. And if you're I don't want to give you your money, Hashem, then Hashem's hey, I'll deposit my money somewhere else. So when someone asks us for tzedakah, or when we have the opportunity to give charity to an organization or to someone in need, that's Hashem going to the ATM and taking it as cash flow. And so it's actually by the more we give, the more Hashem's going to deposit into our bank account for the ability for us to continue giving. And so charity is not supposed to be in a penny pinching kind of way of just like, what's the minimum I could give? But no, I want to give to Hashem. I want to give to Hashem in the most physical way I can. And something that's precious to me. Meaning, does God want your money? No, but you do, right? It's important to you. And so when I actually give that to God, I'm giving something to God that's important to me. And that's what is important to Hashem, that we're giving something in a meaningful way. Thank you for taking the time to learn this together.